concerns about the ability of contact tracers to get on top of this outbreak play into the decision to extend the lockdown?
I don't have any concerns about the contact tracing capability or capacity. There's no question that when you get to 18,000 primary and secondary close contacts, that you've got a huge number of people who need to be doing the right thing, to be in that strict quarantine, not to be leaving the house for any reason whatsoever. But the contact tracing capability to identify those individuals, to direct them to quarantine, no question that that's working perfectly.
What does your data show, or what are you predicting Melbourne's case numbers will look like after these 7 days? What are you expecting based on the modelling that you just referred to?
Expecting that we'll be absolutely in single figures, that there's a reasonable chance that we'll have no new individuals who are out in the community during their infectious period. There's a probability that sits within. There's always uncertainty around that.
So do we have to be at 0 cases or no new cases that have been infectious in the community to come out of the lockdown in 7 days?
Yeah, it's really about the cases that we identify having not been out in the community for any period of time. Again, going back to how this started, how it started in Sydney, how it's evolved in Adelaide, a person who's out in the community for any time with this Delta variant could transmit to one person, could transmit to no people, but could transmit to 20 people. And so you have to be sure that you've got the response around that risk.
If we're really lucky to get to the end of this lockdown and there's a case that pops up, someone who has been out infectious in the community, perhaps having done the wrong thing, can we expect a lockdown extension?
Not necessarily. So, I think I spoke to this a bit yesterday. If we've got a person who says, look, I have just been tested, I was out in the community for this reason as an essential worker, but they've only been to their workplace. We know the shopping centre that they might have gone to. They wore a mask the whole time. We know the timing around it. We're responding within 48 hours of that detection. All of those things might mean that you don't have to be concerned about further transmission that you can't get on top of. If someone says, I've been tested, but I've been symptomatic for the last 7 days, that's an entirely different story. I don't expect that to happen. And in all of the close to 100 cases that we've identified thus far, people are overwhelmingly doing the right thing. People are identifying the exposure sites that they've been to, and increasingly we're seeing that they're out in the community for a shorter and shorter period. I think yesterday I spoke to the 1.7, 1.8 days, infectious days in the community. It was down to 1.5 based on yesterday's calculations. I reckon it's under 1 for today, given that, the great majority haven't been out in the community at all.
If we're really lucky and there's no cases, or they're all linked and it's, single digits, could you consider ending the lockdown earlier?
Look, I'm sure we'll come back to you over the course of the next week, where you'll ask that question every single day, and we'll be reviewing that on a day-by-day basis. Of course we do that, and all of those positive directions are a positive reflection for us about how long it might need to go for.